Hi guys, I am MD Shahajada Imran. In this video, I will talk about unit testing and how many different ways we can do the unit testing. I have created a Word document where I have written some text about unit testing. So this is how many ways we can do unit testing in Selenium and Java. So for that, it has a prerequisite to explain how to do the unit testing in Selenium and Java. In Java programming, there is a prerequisite or a step 0. That is, I have to have a program with a class and methods. So that is what I will be doing hands-on now. That is the prerequisite to create a program with class and methods. So I click on Eclipse. I will give a name. MD Shahajada Imran _ unit testing. This could be any name. I just give a name. So Eclipse will create a folder with this name in this location, and of course launch the Eclipse. So I'll click on OK. So Eclipse is opening. Eclipse just opened, so I will click here to maximize, and I will click on welcome this sign, so remove. So this is the default settings. So I will create a Java project first. File, new Java project. I will give a name. Let me give my project, and I will leave all the other settings as it is, and I will click on finish. So Eclipse will create a project for us. I clicked on finish. The project has been created by Eclipse. It has a source folder and the jar library. It has a list of many jar files. jar. So all these are jar files. These are default jar files. So this library holds the default jar files and the source folder. So I will create a package under source folder. So I right click and I will click on package. So my package, and I will click on finish button. So the package has been created. Now I will right click on my package so I can create a class, new, and I will click on class. Now I will give a name, my class, and I will check this one so that it creates the main method, and I will also check this checkbox so it creates some comments, and it will actually give my name as author in the comment section. That's why I check this checkbox. So I will click here the finish button, Eclipse will create the class for us. So Eclipse did that. This is the class, and it also has the main method and also has the command as I checked the checkbox in the previous step. So I will give my full legal name here. I will save it. Now, since I have to create a Java program with few methods and class. So class I just created. I also have to create few methods. So I will create two methods. One method that will square a numeric number. Public int QUAR. I will say my square is QUAR, my square int a, return a times a. So I have created a method. This method will square a number. This method will square a number and it will return that squared number. So this is one method that I have created. I will create another method that will add two numbers. My add int a comma int b. Return a plus b semicolon. So I have created another method. I gave a comment here. So this method will add two numbers and return the total of the two numbers. So these are the two methods I have created. So based on the prerequisite is I need to have a Java program. This is the Java program, and that program should have a class and few methods. So I have created this class, and it has two methods and also has the main method. Now, what is unit testing? Unit testing is testing the programs, the smallest testable chunk or block of code is unit testing. So unit testing is testing the smallest testable block of code. This is the smallest block of code which is testable. So that is unit testing. Unit testings are usually written against the code. It's not written against the business requirement. It's written against the code. So the definition is testing the smallest testable block of code is unit testing. So the prerequisite I have showed hands-on, so I can mark as green that I have showed the prerequisite. Now I will show hands-on different ways we can do the unit testing. The first way is using main method. That is the first way. So for that, it has few steps. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. So step 1 is download a JUnit jar file from the internet and add to the build path. So that I will do. So I will show hands-on unit testing using main method first. I will show in different ways. So the first way is using main method. For that I will have to download the JUnit 4 jar file from the internet. So I minimize this, and I also minimize this. I will launch Google Chrome browser. Google Chrome browser is opening. Google Chrome browser just opened. It has the Google search box. So I will write JUnit 4 jar file. I click here and I will look for the Maven. This is a Maven repository. So I'll click here. This Maven repository has the most good version of the jar files. So this is 4.12. So I will download this. So we'll click on here. So this one got downloaded. So show in folder. This one just got downloaded. So I will copy, and to paste I need to have a folder. So I will right click here and I will click on folder. I will say lib. I just give a name lib. So the folder name would be lib. Now I will paste that jar file, JUnit jar file. Download the JUnit jar file from download from the internet that I have showed. Now add to the build path that I will be showing hands-on. So since I have this one here, I will right click on the project or the program, and then I will click on properties, and I will click on build path. I will click on libraries, and I will click on add jar and click on OK, and I will click on apply. So this has been added. This symbol came, this reference also came, so this has been added to the project. Now I will also mark the entire line as done. The showing hands-on is done. So I have showed this step. Now I will be writing Java code in the main method. First I will test if the mySquare method is working fine. This method's job is to square a numeric number. So I will check. For that I have to create an instance of this class. This is Java programming, so I will be copying this. Control V from the keyboard, Control V again, equal to new, Control V, semicolon. So I have created an instance of this class inside of the main method. This is the data type, this is the object name or instance name or the reference variable, and this is the assignment, and this is the new keyword, and this is the constructor. And this is how we create an instance of the class. So I have created the instance. Now I will be creating unit test. like testing if this method, testing if this method, if this method is working fine. So I will test if this method is working fine. This is the smallest testable chunk of code. I will write a test for that. So first I will be calling this method. Int output equal to the class object name. This is the object name dot a list will show up in a few seconds. The list showed up, so I will select this one, my square. I will select this one and I will give a number 5 and semicolon. So what this line will do, this line will square the 5 and store the squared number under this variable. Output is a variable, so this line will store 25 under this variable 5 I have put here, so it's supposed to square it. Now I will use assert dot assert equal, I will choose assert equal integer. Let me see where it is. Assert equals integer here. Int expected, int actual, assert equals. I will select this one and hit from the keyboard so it got be selected. Now expected, what I am expecting? I am expecting 25. Here I am expecting 25. And what is actually coming? That will be stored here. Copy. I run here. Now this is one unit test. I will say unit test, unit test test number 1. This is unit test number 1. I can say 1. Unit test number 1. The first, or this is one unit test. This is one automation. And this entire method is an automation script. It has one unit test. That test will be testing if this particular method is working fine or not. I will run it. I will run it as a Java application and see if there is any error. There is no error. That means it passes. What if developers made a mistake and instead of a square, this method supposed to square a number, instead of a square he made a mistake and put plus sign here by mistake. So the test automation script should catch this mistake. Automation script should catch this mistake. So I will be running now again. Yes, it did catch the mistake. It says expected is 25. 5 times 5 is 25. Expected is 25, but actually it is coming 10. Then we have to tell the developer that the script, automation script fails because the square method is returning a wrong number. If I put 6 here, 6 times 6, 36. It's supposed to come 36. Now if I run it, if I run it, it says expecting 36, but it actually coming 12. So automation script failed. So we have to tell our developers that the automation script failed. Please fix this method. I will fix this one. Okay, and now I will run it again, and this time there will be no errors. There is no errors. That means this unit test number 1 passes. Now I will create another unit test for this method. So what this method's job? This method's job is to add two numbers. That is this method's job. So I will be testing if this method is working fine or not. So I will write another unit test. Number 2, unit test number 2. If the my method is working fine. Int output 2, because I cannot use this, I shouldn't be using same variable twice, so I'll be using output 2 and my class dot. Now I'll be testing this method, my add method, so I will select that. I have selected and clicked also. So it should be selecting soon, unless the computer gets hanged up. Okay, it's selected now. So I will be giving two numbers. Let's say I give a 6 and I also give 4. And I will again use the assert dot assert equal. This has so many things that we can do. So for this demonstration purpose, I'm using only one. That is assert int. Let me see where it is. That assert equal int. This one, int expected. What is the expectation? Expectation is 10. I give two numbers, 6 and 4. So expectation is 10. And actual is this one. Now I will run it. There is no error at all. What if the developer made a mistake and instead of plus sign, developer put minus sign? So then the output would be wrong. The method name is my underscore add. The method is a build intent to add two numbers. But developers made a mistake. Instead of add, they put a minus sign. And that should be caught by the automation script, and that should be caught by the unit test. So I will be running. Yes, it did catch the mistake. It says expected is 10 but actually is 2. Then I have to tell the developers this is what happening. Please review your code and fix it. Developer will review this code and they will find that they made a mistake. They put minus sign instead of plus sign. Okay, so I put the plus sign again. If I run it, there is no error. So this is one way I have showed. I wrote the Java code, I ran the script and reviewed the execution result. I mark everything as green, that I have showed way one. This is the one way I have showed it. Now I will be showing using JUnit test. This is the second way. First way is using main method. This is the main method. Main method is itself an automation script that has two tests, test 1, unit test 1 and unit test 2. Now I will be showing another way, that is using JUnit. I will be testing the same thing, if this two method is working fine or not, but this time I will be using different approach, that is using JUnit test. For that I have to remove JUnit jar file if there is any. So I will first check if there is any jar file with JUnit of 4 name. So it is with the JUnit underscore 4 name. So I will remove that. Apply. I just removed it. That sign got disappeared. Okay, and the these symbols came, but don't worry. So this one is done. Remove the JUnit 4 jar file if there is any. There was one, so I have removed it. That is first step. Step 2 is create the test JUnit test and add jar file when asked. So I will right click here. I will say JUnit test case. So for each method there will be one JUnit test. So I can give a logical name, validate MySQL method. So validate MySQL method. So I will click on finish, and it says add JUnit 4 library to the build path. I will click on OK. Yes, add. This got added, and this is the test. I remove this one, and I will not be explaining the Java code. That is the second step. This is the second step that I have showed hands-on. And third step is write Java code to develop the automation script. So I will not be explaining in detail now because I already explained here. I will just copy the code from here because I already explained what it is doing. This is the unit test 1. It's testing if the SQL method is working fine or not. So I will be copying. I go here, I paste here, because this job is to test validate the MySQL files. It's not. Now I will be running it. So I will run, right click, and as JUnit test, validate MySQL method. I will click on OK. It says pass. There is no error. It says pass. What? Okay. And then I will create another one. I close this one. I also close this one. So there is one. I will create another one. I check this one. Right click on it. New, and click JUnit test case, and this time I will validate the add method. So I will say validate my add method. I will click on finish. So this is another JUnit test. So I'll remove this one, and I will copy code from here. This paste here, and also I will copy the installation code and I will paste here. Okay, and I will run it this one also. This also passes. So there are two JUnit tests. This is one JUnit test, this is another JUnit test. One test is validating the square method, another test is validating the add method. So I will create a test suite. Test suite or test set means there will be multiple test cases. Since there are two test cases, then I can create a test suite. So for that I will be right click on it, other, that is a JUnit, so that will go under Java and JUnit and JUnit test suite. Click on next. So here I can choose what are the tests I want to add as part of the test suite. Regression test suite, some people we can use for so many different reasons. So now I will be clicking on finish. So I have created this all test, this one, the regression suite. I will be right click on it and I will run it, JUnit as JUnit. It should run both JUnit tests. It did. It ran both JUnit tests. If I expand it, so this is the first one, that is validate my square method, and this is the second one, validate add method. Both passes. I click here and click here. So I have showed writing, execution, and review the result. I will be running again JUnit and reviewing the result again. So I have showed hands-on, write the Java code and execute the JUnit test and review the result, execution result. So I will be marking all those as done. Now I will do another way, that is the third way, using test-ng tests. I will create two I will do the unit testing in a different way, that is using test-ng test. For that I will be selecting this my package again, right click on it, new. Before I go here, this is make sure the test-ng install for Eclipse. That is the first step. So I will go help, Eclipse marketplace, and now here I will say JUnit, or not JUnit, test-ng. I'll click on search. It is searching if the Eclipse is ready for test-ng test or not. It says a test-ng for Eclipse is ready. It says installed. If it is not installed, it's not ed, it will be something like install. Then we have to click on install and next. Then it will be like this, installed. So that is the first thing we have to make sure, and I have showed how we can make sure. That is first step. So I mark as green and bold. That is first step to make sure Eclipse, and that I have showed hands-on. The second step is create the test-ng class and add test-ng jar file during creation. So for that I will select my package first, and then I will right click on it. I will click on new. Well, I will put capture on new, and then I will go to other, and then I will look for testng. Here is the testng. I will click on testng class. I will click on next. Now I will give this is the default name they gave. I can give any name. Let's leave as it is, and I will click on finish. Now if I put capture here, it says add testng library. I will select that. So this has been added, testng has been added to the library, to the project, to the program, and I will, this is one test. At the test annotation makes this method an automation script. So I will be, okay, that I have showed creating the class. This is the class I have created, and adding testng jar file, that's adding the testng jar file, that also added, that I have showed hands-on. So I mark this as green, that I have showed in the video. Now writing Java code in the testng. I will not explain, I will just copy the code from here. I'll copy the code from, first I will copy this. First I will copy this and paste here. I will give a name here. I will say validate my square method. So I have given a name of this automation script. This is one automation script. This is one unit test, and this test will validate this method. So I will run it now. I click on it. I run as testng test. Okay. I just run it, and the result, it's running. Okay, execution finished. This one test passes. What if the developer made a mistake, and instead of a static they put a plus in? Then did the automation script catch that? Let's see. Run it. It says it failed. It failed because expectation was 36, but actually it came 12. So I'll fix this one again. Now it passes. This is one automation script. So I will create another automation script. Add the test public void validate my add method. And I will copy the code from here. This. Paste here. I will also copy this. Okay, so there are two automation scripts. This is one automation script. This is another automation script. There are two unit test cases. This is one unit test, this is another unit test. So I will be running both at the same time. I'll just run it. If I view the result, it says both passes. This is passes. So I have showed how we can do unit testing, and I have showed a 3 different way that we can do unit testing. So I will mark all this as green. So in overview, what I have showed, I have showed how we can do unit testing in Selenium and Java programming. So there are 3 different ways I have showed. One is using main method, that is this, using the main method. This is the main method that has 2 unit tests. This is 1 unit test, this is another unit test. And then again I have showed using JUnits. Then again I have showed using JUnit. For JUnit I have created this one, and this one, these 3. And then again I have showed TestNG. TestNG has this one. This one has, this is one automation script, this is another automation script. Together it becomes a suite. These scripts can be used for so many different places, like for regression testing, for unit testing, for this can be reused for end-to-end testing as well. But in this video, my focus to explain how many different ways we can perform unit testing. That is the objective of this video. Thank you guys for watching.